brief sabbatical on me.
My deception check is a 24.
She just sort of looks. I don't think this is good. Yeah, no,
Yeah, go.
I think so. And she just sort of looks down. I suppose we have there's a small. Follow me, and just sort of keeps running off towards the right.
All right. Murdoch looks back over her shoulder at Lydia, gives a big, very, very sharp-toothed dragonborn smile, picks up her suitcase again, and follows after this little scamp.
I don't know what that smile means. Is she threatening me? I don't know.
No, I think she just deceived another individual, like the guards.
All right.
Don't say it out loud. I would like
really
to go,
doesn't help my life.
Look at all the books that are on the bookshelves.
Oh, okay. So as you're heading over there, go ahead and make an investigation check for me. So you're on that, Murdoch. You were led into what looks to be, again, I'll call it a, basically what looks to be almost like a clerk's office. It's got a very sort of bare bones table, 2 chairs on it. You can see that there's already a bunch of different papers on there. As you're walking in and just giving a quick glance over on it, you notice it seems to be from something that just happened this morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's saying something. Here's everything I was. Here's everything we were doing this morning. The other case files are at the walls over there.
All right. Where would you like me to begin? I was told that I was helping you. These are the case files from the one earlier today.
Yes, if you want to, these are all these are all just sort of scrawled rush of the moment during the trial. If you can,
the transcription.
Yes, if you can put these into some sort of neat, orderly. That's yes, neat and orderly.
Just get everything organized for you, of course. That is definitely something that I can do. And then I suppose I will come see you when it is done.
Yes, yes, sir. I'll check back in with you shortly, or if you're done before you see me out, yes, come seek me. I'll either be at the file
of
or
course.
I'll be up at the front
Yes.
of the...
You seem like you're very busy. Don't worry, I'll get this sorted for you. You've been working very, very hard. I can tell.
She blushes a little bit, gives a little nod, and then takes off with that. Running.
She takes off her glasses. It is just too easy in these small towns. And I'm just gonna start looking over the transcription and see what the heck has been going on.
Oh, okay. So you're starting to read through on that. Fury, what'd you roll on your investigation check?
I got a 16.
Oh, okay, so as you're starting to poke through and look at all these different books, it looks like they are journals. Each one a different 10-day. And as you're looking around and sort of popping out and flip through a couple of pages at it real quick, it looks like it's literally just going over any sort of trials or disputes that have come across this location. The couple that you flip through and seem to catch your, catch your eye, so to speak, is, you see a couple of things that are, people charged with aiding an attack upon Secomber, assault upon a citizen, you can see that it lists on there at the bottom of each page a 9-person jury of the people who heard the trial, what the end verdict was.
Do they list the names of the jury members, or they just say there's 9 people?
No, it's listed names, and as you're flipping through, it seems to be like every page you're going to, it's a different list of 9 people.
Okay.
As you're flipping through, it doesn't seem to be the same people each time.
Are they in order? Like from oldest to newest?
As you're flipping through, there does each book is in order. So it starts like you may the first book you pick up may start on the 1st of the month and run through the 10th of the month. But when you put that book away and you move one book over and pull that out, it doesn't seem like the books themselves are in a specific order.
I'm gonna start going and searching for specifically a newer book to see if more trials about, the taxes are coming up. Trying to find out how much of a problem that actually is.
Oh, okay. So what are the rest of you doing? As you can see, Murdoch got led off by this halfling one direction. Furious sort of run over to the books.
Just always, we're smart again. Doing the book reading.
Art.
Uh-huh.
Do you have an extra piece of parchment that I could borrow off you, or like a book even that's empty? I want to start a journal of all these churches I've been to.
I don't think I have a whole book, but I could
Some parchment?
certainly-
I can
Yes.
pay you back when we get
Of-
to a town.
Oh, goodness, no, that's fine. Yes, I have some parchment that I can give to you. No worries about paying back.
Thank you, you're too kind.
They'll dig some parchment that is separate from either of their spell books out of their pack and kind of hand it up to Lydia.
Oh, okay. And Snowmoon, what would you be doing?
I guess I'll start wandering towards the pews a bit more just to
Okay.
see if there's anything else interesting that we haven't found yet.
Oh, okay, so as you start moving up that way, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. That's 18.
Oh, okay. So as you're sort of walking up there, the first thing that you notice as you're getting through these, the best way I can call them is just these rows of pews. As you get up towards the front end of this building, you notice that there is, along the far back wall, there is a massive semicircular table with 9 high back chairs sitting behind it. Sitting in front of this table, there are 2 smaller tables sort of angled in, facing towards the middle of this semicircle. Each one of those tables has 2 chairs in it. And then off to the side of the semicircular table on the right, there is a single, what looks to be, I guess I'll call it a writer's desk. Just a single seat with a, basically a table. It's got that slight angle on it. For those you watching at home, it literally looks like a courtroom. But if you think of it sort of like a, like if you cross what you've seen of like Congress and like the British Parliament, how they have those sort of like, or United Nations is a better way to word it. You've got the big sort of semicircle seating. This has got semicircle for 9. You think that's, well, actually, Furia would know this because she knows about the 9-person jury. It's where the 9 people sit. The 2 tables are where the plaintiff and defendant sit, and the little tables where the person taking the notes would sit. But yeah, that's what you're seeing.
So happy
Okay.
I made a lawyer.
Are
What's
all the tables
funny
bare?
is, at the moment, yes, they're all bare.
Okay.
What's funny is this was actually set up before I knew what Murdoch was.
That's crazy.
That's why when you start,
that
that's why when you started telling me about the character, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of keep.
You do
Just
also
wandering.
see on the far back wall, there is a single door just off to the left behind that semicircular table.
Okay. Do I see any physical lock on it? From a
From
distance?
this distance, you can't tell.
Okay. I'll go ahead and approach the door.
It's a little halfling in your ear going, yes, go in, see what's in there. Tell Granny.
Do it.
I
So
will.
as you walk up, it doesn't. You don't see an external lock. It does have a keyhole on it. You can try checking it if you want to, or you can just try opening it.
Yeah, I'll just try and open it.
Oh, okay. So as you reach down and really turn the knob and start to push it in. Okay. You hear a little click as the door opens. Look within and you see, looks to be there's a small pitcher. Looks like there's some sort of liquid down at the bottom of it. It's hard to tell what it is. It looks like it's been mostly drank. A couple of mugs sitting on the table. Again, just a large sort of rectangular table. 10 chairs sit around the table.
Anything on the table or any of the chairs?
Nothing other than a little bit of like the remnants of somebody's beverages.
Break room.
Yeah, I guess if I don't see anything else of great interest, I'll just kind of head back out the door.
Okay. As you start, as you've sort of walked in and done a little like scan of the room, and you're turning to walk back out, you notice a whatchamacallit. You notice that again, that sort of same little motif hanging right above the doorway of the set of scales.
Oh, like a relief carved
Yes,
in?
thank
like
you. That's the word I
relief?
was looking for. Relief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he didn't really know what it was outside, so he doesn't really think that much about it.
Okay. So then, Furia, what was your new investigation check where you were looking for a newer book?
Wow, natural 20
Nice.
plus 0.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So you actually do find one from, it looks to be the 10-day prior. And as you're sort of flipping through it, you manage to, looks like within that specific 10-day, there were a total of 7 trials throughout the entire 10-day. Out of those 7, 4 of them had to do with the protection tax. The other 3 were aiding an attack against Secomber and an attack against a citizen.
And if I I'm not legal minded, but if I skim through the 4, do they seem serious in nature?
So as you're sort of scanning through, and again, it is basically you're reading I guess I'll call it the court reporter's notes for within the court. So a lot of it does come off as sort of jargon-esque. The ones on the protection tax, it seems like, from what you can make out, people claiming they weren't able to pay. And the plaintiff was just basically won their case and was able to go in and start taking things from them and having them sold to get the money to pay the tax. The ones on the aiding an attack against Secomber and attacking a citizen, those seem to be much more serious. Not now for player knowledge, mind you. Actually, and Murdoch's probably the only one who had run into this. Is probably been the only one who's actually been through Waterdeep. This level of offense is probably about on par on attacking a noble in Waterdeep.
Just a general civilian assault is equivalent.
No, what they're charging, each one of these has the same charge. So it is aiding an attack against Secomber / attacking a citizen.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same charge sort of balled in.
Okay. Because that's it's been a while. It's been a while since I read my Waterdeep Code legal, but that's either a very hefty fine that no one that isn't a noble is going to be able to pay, like a large sum of gold, or it's like
I'm pretty sure you're banishment from the city.
Or it's straight up banishment, I think.
I think that Ashton was either banished or not that Lydia would know this, but Ashton was either banished or had to like turn herself in for like flashes or something. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, they take that rather seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is such a small town.
The other 3, I know they're sort of combined, but is there anything about the hobgoblins, or was it just somebody that had a scuffle with the guards?
So it's go ahead and make an intelligence check. As basically you're trying to discern this.
I like this dice. 16.
Okay. So it's not seeing anything specific on the guards or anything like that. But what you do notice is that as you're going through it keeps it. You notice that in the ones that are specifying aiding an attack and assault on a citizen, they keep mentioning 3 letters, ROJ. Which with that check you would probably link to what Tudin had mentioned earlier about rods of justice. So you're pretty sure that whatever these attacks involved one of the 9 rods.
Interesting.
Now, is it one of the 6 new or the 3 old? It doesn't say. It just
doesn't say. I'm going to attempt to keep this book. Is there anybody around looking?
Well, there's a small halfling that's been running rampant to putting things away that you've noticed. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
I would be slipping this into the bag of holding.
Oh, okay.
That is an 18.
Jesus. Yeah,
Plus 3.
It doesn't seem like she notices anything at all. She is completely focused, and you do notice with all of you who seeing this halfling run by, with your passive insights notes, they do seem to be a little more relaxed since they have a new assistant helping them. I'm going to have another coughing fit. We are going to actually take our break right here before we jump back over to Murdoch to see what Murdoch is learning from today's courtroom hijinks.
They're all dead. All of them. We've killed them all.
We will be back in just a few moments. I would like to put a quick shout out to chat that Sensible Boots is specifying that Kellamvor will remember this. So not only has our party stolen a corpse from a temple last week, now they have stolen legal documents from a temple this week. So we've gone from pirates to Indiana Jones.
If their whole legal system is corrupted, then it doesn't matter. That's from a lawyer.
And if it's a corrupt system, then Kellamvor may remember this, and thank you for it. But we'll be back in just about, 3 to 7 minutes as I try to fix my lungs, and, yeah. So don't get anywhere, we'll be back in a couple of moments. edition. And lovely, my Discord is deciding to have a moment. Give me a moment here. We're going to try to fix our Sarah stand-in. Okay. Turn off camera. Turn on camera. Okay, give me 1 sec, folks. We're going to try one last try to fix this. We're going to drop out. Okay, no, it just does not want to be friendly with Sarah's camera this evening, or while our imitation Sarah for the remainder. So, unfortunately, I apologize. We're just going to have a little blurpy derp thing going on for Sigma's camera, for Sarah's camera. But with that, we are going to jump headfirst back into the Court of Kelemvor, as our party has been poking around and, for the second time this 10-day, has stolen something from a temple. At least this time it's not a body, it's just a book. But as our party has been taking things off, Murdoch has been sequestered in this small, looks to be a clerk's office, going over today's trial. And Murdoch, this to you seems like a very sort of straightforward situation, at least from the law aspect of it.
Okay.
This one, the one they ran today, is one involving the protection tax again. It references a small market claiming to not have the funds enough to pay the protection tax due to lack of sales. Stating people can't come in, people can't afford to purchase items from them.
Right.
They do mention that the defendant also makes claim that ever since the and its abbreviation LA was removed, less coin has been getting spent at their location.
LA. Okay.
At the bottom of it, you see
Lord's
there's
Alliance?
Good
Potentially.
thinking.
You're familiar with Lord's Alliance. They're one of the few groups that you can think of off the top of your head who start with that.
Right. Yeah.
As you fling through, you get down to the bottom, you do see a list of 9 names listed as jurors on this trial. See, it was a unanimous vote in on the plaintiff side, so they had basically, it was decided that they were going to be able to go in and claim product from said merchant to make up the coin for the protection tax.
Okay. Is this court, is it done entirely in front of a jury, or is there also a judge? Or is it
It seems to just list 9 jurors.
Okay. Does it list who would be the plaintiff in this sort of scenario? Because this would be, if this is a tax, then it's technically the plaintiff is representing the city itself. So,
right,
is there a specific person?
So it's just listed as Rod of Justice.
Okay. There's no name.
There's no name. It's just listed as Rod of Justice.
Okay. Does it go into how much is the tax? Is it a percentage based on income?
And as you're going through this, based on the amount it's listing and just what you've seen of the city, you're pretty sure it's got to be a percentage of I guess I'll call it percentage of worth. Because
Oh.
looking at the tax that this person owed, this person is claiming to have owed 1,000 gold. As you walked through this city, this doesn't look like these people can't afford 1,000 gold on normal circumstances.
No. This is exactly it. They've created a tax that is legal robbery that then leads to them being able to just claim all of their goods. So if it favors with the plaintiff, that means they're allowed to repossess goods to make up for the worth of the tax.
Exactly correct. Yep.
Can I find and see where those things may be transported? If this is the transcript, seeing if maybe it's like for the repossession of goods to be transported to like maybe where they stockpile these things.
So as you're scanning through it, you do catch a couple of things, and it seems to be referencing that all taxes and everything are held up at the barracks. So as you guys were looking, it's
the most defended place.
Exactly correct. They put it in the most secure location in the city.
Oh my god, guys, it's Fort Knox. Oh my god. And they just pay off the jurors and the guard to say any of these cases just vote. You're not here, but to just vote unanimously, have them be guilty, we'll repossess the goods, you'll get a fraction of the cut. Oh, this makes, because it's all legal, but I hate it. Okay.
I just imagine Murdoch like taking her glass off and going, "My God."
I mean, yeah. The reason why like something like this doesn't go in like Waterdeep is due to they essentially have a what's it called, a checks and balances system between like forces like the Grey Hand and the Masked Lords. Like that's why that works. On this small of a scale, they can literally just say you owe 2,000 gold, and they go, well, I can't pay it. And they go, well, we're gonna take everything you own then, and it's all legal. In this little clerk's office, is there possibly a seal for any kind of like for or stamp for official documentation, or are these signed off by anyone? What establishes them as official documentation?
So you don't see a stamp or anything within the office.
Okay.
But on the transcript that basically on the document they left with you, there is a stamp. Again, it's just basically a stamp in wax.
Okay.
That has a little, again, the scales appear on it, as well as the word Secomber, and some other sort of, I guess I'll call it like a little sort of calligraphy flourish underneath the scales at the bottom.
Okay. But the seal to make that wax, the seal itself, is not present anywhere in here.
It does not appear to be, no.
Okay, this is just a storage room. Well, I don't want to be too suspicious. I'm going to write down some notes for myself based on what I've read here into one of my journals that I keep in my satchel. And then I'm going to do the work that I was actually pretending to help with doing, just to make it. I will actually officially organize it and get it all kind of set up as I was told.
Yeah, and you doing what you do, it really doesn't take you a whole heck of a lot of time. Again, it seems like this, the person they have functioning as this court clerk. You're getting the impression that this is not their primary task. They're probably more of a religious acolyte. They just have some, they can read and write, so they sort of get brought into this where
That's actually so. Yeah, because this is a clerk's office in the church. Is there documentation about the? Is there church documentation in here?
Doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
There might be somewhere else in the building, but again, at least in the room you're sitting in.
Yeah, this isn't okay. I get it. It's just a place to do work, not a place where
It's not like they brought you into in a normal courthouse. They didn't bring you into the judge's chambers. This is literally just, you need somewhere to sit and do some work. Here you go. Have a small office.
Okay. Yeah, they don't need to do actual banditry and strong arm people. They've literally created a system where they can just slowly bleed the town dry. And then they can just sell off any goods that they repossess because they can probably control the trade. Okay. She's going to do the work that she said she would actually do, and then she's going to reconvene with the party.
Oh, okay. So the rest of you probably have at this point now, mind you, with like Snow Moon wandering off, but everything you guys have been doing, it's probably been about half an hour, give or take. So you probably got about another half an hour before Murdoch's back out with the group of you. Anything else you'd be doing within here, or?
I would actually try to get in the room to talk to Murdoch. See if the halfling notices me going over there.
Okay. Let's see here. Seems to notice you, doesn't really do anything about it, though. As you walked in at the same point, it's that same sort of idea with the bartender. You guys all walked in together. She's seen the group of you sort of loitering around, but Murdoch has been in there working away, so it's just like, hey, I'm getting it done, so.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm assuming you're busy, but I'm gonna dig out the book from the bag. You probably can make a little bit more sense about this than I can, but this is the most recent book chronicling the last 10 days of court here.
Oh, very present for me, well, thank you.
Their filing system is not in order. It took me a while to find it, but of the last 7 trials, 4 have been about this tax. They didn't go very well.
No, I'm assuming she does kind of a quick flip through. Yes, there was a court hearing actually just earlier today that essentially went the same. From a legal perspective, this is entirely by the books, but from an ethical standpoint, this is essentially robbery.
It wasn't always like this. Something changed.
Very recently.
The other thing is these other 3 are very, very serious. And they all involve the Rods of Justice, ROJ. It seems very frequent. I wonder if people are very upset about this, or revolting, or something else.
I think that Innkeeper was possibly not giving us the most accurate understanding of what's been going on. Of course, people are going to go to the inn and try and get information first. They're skewing everything around here. They're bleeding their people dry, and then they're getting aggravated, and so they just give them assault charges and send them on their way, or they're not able to pay the tribute, and then they get kicked out anyway. The percentages for this tax is astronomical. It would be, I mean, the upper echelon of Waterdeep might be able to pay for it, but not people that live here that are just trying to do trade.
So what's their end goal? If they're this smart to take over a town and implement a tax, do they just want people to leave so that they could have it for themselves? That's the only thing I can think of.
They practically do have it, and those taxes legally should be going back into the city, its upkeep and things of that nature, but if you end up getting rid of anyone that could say otherwise, then you can just skim off the top or take the entire storage. It seems, according to this, that everything that they've been stockpiling, the actual goods to make up for the lack of coin, has been brought to the barracks, that fortress, supposing that Snowmoon pointed out. they've just got it under lock and key, and I'm guessing that they have the guard and these jurors under coin to just do what they say.
Yeah. We really need to talk to one of the original rods.
I think
Although they
that's-
might be the most corrupt because they helped usher in this new era.
Lydia?
Oh wait, where are you? Sorry, I took you by
in the office with me.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I mean, if they work as any sort of council, then they only need majority to be able to pass any laws that they would want. 5 out of the 9, but it's very possible that this was some sort of hostile takeover,
That's
and
what I
those 3 are
think is-
just the ones that didn't want to die.
Or agreed and paid whatever they wanted to keep their spots.
And
Because
then
this all
maybe they
started when the
push.
new ones came in.
Mhm. The issue is that it is to an outside eye, and even from, according to all the paperwork, it's completely by the books. It's just that the numbers are astronomical. And this court case says that they got rid of something called the LA. I'm going to assume it means the Lord's Alliance, as they would be the only force that's able to stop corrupt officials in a city of this level if it's under their jurisdiction. That's kind of what they're meant to
point.
do.
Well, I'll let you get back. I will go put this book back. And wait around outside.
I should only be a moment. I'm sure the others are tearing their hair out trying to find something to do here. So I'll be back soon.
Do Dragonborns have hair?
Not,
They have tentacles.
not per se.
Yeah, they have tentacles. Pick your scales out, so to speak.
There you go.
I don't have hair, but I've heard that that's the colloquialism.
True. I guess it's a habit. I'll just leave and put the book back on the shelf. Just
And I will.
anywhere.
I'll finish the work, and so I can come back.
Oh, okay. So, Snow Moon, Art, and Lydia, anything 3 of you would be doing?
Wandered outside to I would have wandered around inside to take some sketches of the reliefs on the walls, but walked outside to draw a quick sketch of the temple itself.
Oh, okay. Easy.
I'd be hanging out outside because people are looking for me.
Yeah, not a problem. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. $21.
Okay, good to know.
That does mean there's a building just absolutely full of gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so as
Our
you're
gold though. Sorry.
To be redistributed
Yeah.
to the public.
as you're sort of taking that sketch of the outside of the temple and whatnot, you do notice out of the corner of your eye there is somebody off in the distance a little ways. So when you guys came up to this building, you sort of button hooked around a curve and then came back around the corner. This person seems to be hanging down right by that button hook, right before you turned into this. Just looks like they're trying to be I don't want to say sneaky, but they're trying not to be obvious that they're watching. But you definitely picked up that they haven't moved. You've been out there for a little while and they haven't moved.
I don't want to miss it. Okay. Alright. Oh, well, I can... Never mind. Not gonna do it.
Yeah, just gonna let them be.
Well, damn it. Okay, Lydia's gonna, use thaumaturgy and say, you know, I can see you there.
So you're literally just gonna make your voice boom all the way
Yeah,
over there?
in that direction. Yep.
Okay. As you do that, you watch as this person literally jumps back about 5 feet, turns, and runs the opposite direction.
I'll run after him.
Oh my god.
Alrighty then.
I'll message the group to Fury in my head. I'm running after a guy I think was looking for me because I scared him. I'm sorry. Follow me.
Lydia, come back is what you hear in your head.
I start running and I turn back around.
And I look at the rest of the people. Lydia is chasing some guy she saw. I'm not. Maybe we should go outside and take a look.
All right.
As I start walking outside.
I'll step outside as well.
Murdoch says she's almost done, so.
And so by the time the rest of you get outside, and at this point Murdoch's just about finishing up, so as Murdoch's coming out of the room, you watch as the rest of the group is now running out the front door.
Oh.
Lydia was running after somebody. I told her to come back. I don't know if it worked.
Tiamat's tits. Alright. Well, that seems to be something that I'm going to have to get used to. I do not run.
That was so good.
I walk quickly. So.
As the rest of you get outside, you can see Lydia has in fact turned and started coming back. But you don't see anybody else at this point.
Lydia, what's going on?
Guy, I accidentally spooked him off, that was looking at me, and I spooked him off, so I decided to go run after him, but then I messaged you and you told me to come back. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
He was looking at you?
Yes, for a very long, uncomfortable period of time.
And you... He got
Just
scared and
spooked
ran
him off. Yeah! Don't know. I know I'm big,
Okay.
but I'm not that intimidating of a person. I like to think that I,
I mean, did this person say anything to you, or just
no,
stared?
was just staring at me. Kind of weird.
Well, if they were, here to talk to us about the rods, or it was a rod, it would be odd, because, maybe it's somebody else that...
Maybe because I think the rod would have just come up to me and talked to me because he was looking for me already. So maybe this is someone else entirely.
Were
Was
they?
he dressed funny?
Yes.
I couldn't tell off in a distance.
So somebody not very good at sailing hidden is watching us, or
Yes.
were. Well, what do you say we'll go find the marketplace? There must be one around here somewhere.
The court case from earlier today was actually just for market, so I think that would be a very good place to go.
Perhaps the other hill?
Good.
Sure.
You guys start heading out that direction.
Were you going to say something, Optimus? Sorry.
No. If we can find out more about what's going on in this place, then oh.
Yes.
Okay.
What did you learn when that halfling?
I can let you know while we make our way there, so as to not waste too much time. And she will recount and give what she thinks. So she'll say like the facts, and then like I think they got rid of the Lord's Alliance and they're like illegally robbing people, and then essentially just kicking them out because if you take everything they have, then they can't pay tribute, then they just get booted out of town.
And I'll,
Do-do-do-do-do.
relate what I found in the book as well. Like, that perfectly makes sense, and yeah, it's terrible.
So they're squeezing their own people with taxes that there's no possible way they could pay.
And then with how the tribute works, they don't end up having to stay to complain because they get tossed outside the walls. It's very easy. You just pay off some jurors, you pay off the guard, and you keep the rest.
Well, there's certainly no honor in it.
Just very good bookkeeping, unfortunately.
You're muted, DM.
Thank you. What else is new? Wouldn't be a Probo stream if I didn't leave myself muted. So, as you start heading up to the non-barracks hill, the one in the north, you actually get to a point and start realizing that it may not be up the hill you need to head. As you get to about here, and you get to this little fork, where you can keep going up this little hill and wrapping around, or there is this little offshoot that leads down into a small cul-de-sac. And as you start noticing the buildings and hearing the noise, you can tell that this seems to be the area, the little market area within the city.
Oh,
Good.
Found
That's
it.
going. That's
interesting.
going to save my knees. Hate going up all these hills. Did we want to question the people of the markets and see if we can confirm what we were thinking is going on here?
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's head
and
that way.
see how busy it is as well.
And so as you start heading down, again, you start to see most of the like the little stalls and whatnot that are out on the street side seem to be set up almost right outside the actual like brick and mortar location. As you're walking around, you can see it looks to be one family has a I guess I'll call it a small farmstead. So they've got different fruits and vegetables. They've got a little stand out front with some. They assign, say, more inside. Things of that nature. You go down, you pass down a little ways, you see a Fletcher and his selection of different arrows. Stone tip, flint tip, iron tip, different prices for the different arrows. Some of them with different colored feathers on the back of it. Just showing off the different little bits and pieces. You pass one shop that has a no cart out front. A stone building. You can see a rather large circular chimney coming off of one side of it. As you're walking, you can hear the slight sound of metal on metal, giving you the impression that this is some sort of a smithy. On the outside of the building, it reads the Soul Forge. Murdoch, the name rings a bell to you. They were just recently sued.
Oh, was this today's?
This was today's.
This business was the one that was sued in court earlier today. They weren't able to pay, so it would seem that they were going to repossess pretty much everything up to 1,000 gold worth, which could very well just foreclose the building.
And so it looks like that maybe hasn't happened yet because we see activity.
Right now you're only hearing.
Okay.
It's a stone building, so you're not seeing any around. But again, you're hearing that sort of telltale sound of the bing, bing, bing. And as you're looking at the chimney, you can see smoke coming out of the top of it. So it definitely appears that there is somebody in there working.
If anything, if there's someone in there that has just recently been sued out of their mind, then they would probably give us a quite accurate telling of what's been going on.
Maybe we can give them some money too.
It's not
Buy a
going to
couple
help
of their
the bigger
wares.
problem.
No, but just for now, I meant just buy a couple of their wares or something, just so they could eat or like.
Do we know why they were foreclosed? Perhaps it was for a nefarious reason.
Well, they were sued because they weren't able to pay that new protection tax, which came out to 1,000 gold pieces. It's not a tax on percentage of income, it's just based entirely on worth, which is a very, very bad way to do taxes, because what you're worth is not necessarily the gold that you have in pocket. They're taking into account the tools and the anvil and the building itself, which is not things that can just be sold and paid in taxes.
Well, let's go on in. See how they're feeling.
I'll get the door for you guys. You've been getting the door for me.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so is first you notice, right as you start opening this door and you pull it out towards you, you are just immediately blasted in the face with this almost oppressive heat.
Actually, I quite like this, so it's okay.
And again, now that the door's open, you can hear the sound of just hammer on metal again every couple of seconds. As they seem to be, as whoever is within seems to be going to town on something.
Murdoch gestures for you all to go on.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Yeah.
Get their wares.
Okay. As you head in and start sort of like poking around a little bit, the first thing that you notice is there's actually a rather surprising, given what Murdoch has just told you, amount of stock on the shelves. As you're starting to peruse through and look at these different, just sort of scanning the room, so to speak. You see what looks to be a rather impressive looking trident with its 3 barbed points coming off at the top of it. I see a couple of different swords, a couple of different what looks to be like a large, almost a kite shield. Couple of different staves with small gemstones inlaid in the top of them. Hey, you happen to notice Snowmoon catches your eye a little bit. It looks like best way I can describe it is a serrated sword. If you've ever watched One Piece, the anime,
Shit.
Arlong's sword, the shark tooth saw.
Yeah, so I'll just start drifting over towards the blades and just kind of, checking them out and picking them up and feeling the heft and balance of them.
It seems like these are some extremely well-made weapons from your initial look at them as you pick it up. I mean, as you're looking at this thing, I mean, it looks incredible. This thing, it's got, perfectly flat on one end and these jagged, like, triangle points running down the entire... As you're looking at it, you're going, this can't be balanced. This is going to be unwieldy. It's a chopper. It's not a sword. But as you're picking it up and you start moving your hand around a little with it, it is surprisingly well balanced.
Okay.
After a couple of moments, you hear the anvil stop as now turning as you now that the noise has stopped, as you all had that moment after listening to Murdoch and just seeing like, I thought they were coming to take all the product. Didn't really notice this small diminutive individual behind the counter working the anvil. Turns around in a very sort of stereotypical, almost wife beater style tank top. Braided beard, one long down the front, two short coming out to the sides. Long hair pulled back. Still has his metalworking hammer in one hand. Turns to look at the group of you. Oh, hell, what brings y'all in here today? Looky-loos here looking to actually buy something and help out a small businessman.
Looking to buy and to help you out, yes. Indeed, friend.
Oh, well,
I was actually
welcome to
looking
the
for
Soul
some
Forge.
advice about my sword, myself.
Oh, it's not a bad
Soul
one you got there.
I'll dig out a short sword and point at some slight notches. I'm wondering the best way to sharpen this. It's a silvered sword, and I don't want to get rid of the silvering, but I need the notches out of it.
Silver, you say? And what could you be using a silver sword for?
Well, you know, I just had the opportunity several days ago to get it silvered. It was a too good of a opportunity to pass up, and so I just went with it.
This story gives you a sort of an appraising look up and down a little bit. I'm pretty sure I can do something there for that. What about the rest of you? What are you in here looking for?
This is a very fine piece, sir. Very nice balance.
That's one. Well, it's let's just say it gives a little bit more when you need it.
Yes, I have never seen a blade quite like this one before.
And as he walks out and you watch as he sets the hammer down on the counter and comes walking over to you. And he reaches up his hands to you a little bit and goes to take the sword if you'll let him.
Yeah, I'll let him.
Well, see, as he's taking it, you watch as he has that same sort of almost ease of use moving it around. You know, it's when you hit with this just right, and as he sort of takes it in two hands and winds up and then very slowly makes a move like he's going to drag it across your chest. You hit just like that such. It has been known to do a little, shall we say, extra.
And how much are you asking for it?
Oh, well, something like this. He starts sort of having an hawing. Watches he looks down at his feet a little bit. I think I could let this go for, say, 2,500 gold.
That was a bit more than I was expecting. It is a fine blade, though.
Among the best you'll find here in Secomber.
player knowledge, I don't remember if I have the gold to even pay for that.
You
Should
probably
be in
do.
your inventory. You should have enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
let me
you all took a rather exorbitant amount of gold. And actually I forgot to let me see here. Yeah, you're in roll 20.
I have 10
Yeah.
gold.
No, you don't. I just forgot to tell you what you were
That's why I paid
paid
for your
for,
room.
Oh, I have money?
Yes, you were paid by somebody.
Oh, thank you. I'm no longer poor.
Yes, I meant to tell you that in there.
I haven't been spending much, so I
Yeah,
haven't
so I
thought
think
about
you
the number
all
in a long time.
Yeah, I think you all from the lair took either 2,000 or 3,000 gold. I think it was 3,000 each. You grabbed.
I took more than that because I think I could carry more.
Well, yeah, you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
horse person.
Yeah.
You probably have upwards of 5,000.
Oh bloody heck!
I've got 4,400 on me if that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you grabbed 3 grand and you haven't spent anything. You probably spent maybe 20 gold.
Okay, yeah.
So even if you were completely piss broke when it started, you got 3 grand. So now you're at 2980.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm 1 strength away from plate mail.
Alright. It's a deal. And I'll hand over the gold.
Okay. So, as you hand this over, let me just see. Okay. Okay, where did it go? Okay. So you now have a are you using D&D Beyond?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So right now on your character sheet then, you can put down you have a shark tooth sword.
Okay.
And that is he, brings you over to the counter, sets the sword down, and I guess it has a very sort of unusual sheath to it. As he's showing it to you, it's a long sword.
Okay.
So it is considered a versatile weapon, but so you can wield it 1 or 2-handed. But then as you're looking at the sheath, it slides into the sheath, almost like I guess I'll call it sort of like a puzzle piece. So on the sheath, it's got the main portion of the sheath, and then the slots for the teeth. So it slides it in. Again, it sort of slides in from the side, and then clicks into place to keep it sheathed.
Okay.
But puts it all down there. It takes, as you two count out the gold, takes you a couple of minutes. What would the rest of you be doing as Snow Moon is purchasing this weapon?
Looking at armor and shields, or
Oh.
anything that looks shiny.
As you're looking around in here, everything in the room looks shiny.
I suppose just sort of following Lydia around. I know I have a couple of daggers that are already pretty shiny.
Do you need anything else, Art?
I don't think so. I have the orb that most of my magic kind of focuses from, so not really.
I don't even know what would be good for me.
Honestly, me neither.
Is it okay if I talk to the clerk while you flip through that, Sarah?
Yes, of course.
Murdoch would like to just ask this clerk. Well, I would see that you already have made a sale of my companions and possibly more. How has business been? Because I've heard conflicting stories about trade in and out of Secomber. These are very, very good, high-quality goods. You could probably make a fortune all the way up in Waterdeep.
He sort of looks down and hums and also. Oh yeah, hey, business was good before when the and all of a sudden he gets real quiet. Who are you with?
We are with ourselves, so it's more about who we are not with, I think, is what you are really asking.
Sort of gets a big grin on his face. Oh. Let's just say when the previous powers were here, we'd have a group like you people coming through every 10 days or so. Send them out, deal with the gargoyles, send them after them hobgoblins, and I come back and I make a good coin off of them because, as you said, this is some very nice equipment. Since these new folks come in, they haven't been letting nobody in. So there's nobody to sell to.
And this new tax.
It's based off of the value what you got. And as you can see, and starts gesturing around the room.
You have a lot of value, but not necessarily a coin in your pocket.
So, luckily enough, when I can't pay, it usually only costs me an item or two, but I really don't like the idea of my equipment in hands like this.
Right. So, with Helen, they're called the rods of justice. Your lawmakers. Do you have a name? Do you know anything about these new rods? Did they just show up? Were they members of the town that stood to take the seats? Where did these people come from?
Well, the way it's normally done is all of our individual, I guess, all of them are elected every 4 years.
Love democracy.
But then when recently a group of them got themselves dead, it was decided that more were needed immediately. And rather than finding who would be interested in serving and electing the remaining members, decided to just appoint a group of them to serve for the remainder of the term for the ones who are there, and that's another year and a half.
So, 6 were selected at random of the townsfolk? Of who?
But they were assigned by the remaining 3.
Wait, I'm concerned about how these people ended up burned.
It
Burninated.
wasn't the 6 that did it. It was the 3 because they didn't have majority.
Right. How did they end up no longer with us?
Well, that's all we saw was basically a charcoal briquette.
Oh,
I mean, I've seen more lively coals in my forge than I saw from those bodies afterwards.
A building fire?
We were told that they were found and brought in, and they had all been cooked. So they were found outside the walls, though.
I fell out of my chair. I'm okay.
oh
I'm
my
okay.
god. Okay. I love.
I got
Oh.
really surprised.
Sweetie.
Murdoch had an idea and apparently flipped herself over the desk.
Is it unusual or usual for the rods of justice to go outside the city walls?
Not unusual. We do sit on two rivers. They're rather attractive, if you like a river sort of thing. I might be known to do a little fishing occasionally, but
Well, it definitely seems suspicious that they were all killed in the exact same way at the exact same time.
Do you
And
know?
then all this nonsense started happening with the tax.
Do you know where they were found? Maybe we could go.
no, the new gods didn't deign to tell us all that. They just
Oh, okay.
said that obviously
new
something had
guards as well.
attacked.
Yeah.
Like the ones outside.
Exactly.
Always
Um,
suspicious.
How do most of the regular townsfolk feel about the changes that have been made?
For most people, it really ain't that bad, because most of us don't have much. The average person here might be worth, including the land their house is on, maybe 50 gold, 100 gold. So the amount that they're paying on their tax is only a couple of gold. Easy enough to come up with, but for those of us who actually, well, if I don't mind tooting my own horn, the artisans who make things of a higher value can't really pander our wares to the local, farmers.
It's just, this all seems rather drastic and albeit a bit suspicious. Would this not be something that the Lord's Alliance would be concerned with? Or questioning from other towns that you used to do trade with?
If there was other trade coming up at the moment, yes. But typically when the people when the old rods suggested that the Alliance leave, they used the excuse that they were unable to protect so many of the pillars of the community. They were looking for assistance elsewhere.
Okay. I think that I've figured out pretty much what we're dealing with here. If one of you wanted to go back to your shopping, I apologize for interrupting.
No, that's why we came here.
There's more coin to be made. He just sort of turns it back on Murdoch. Yes, I hear there's more coin that you're looking to give me.
Well, I would like assistance with my sword here.
Yes, that's right. Get that. Get that next hour. That'd probably take about an hour or so, but you have to add some more silver in there. So why don't we say for the time of work, we'll say 10 gold. I get it back up to good as new for you.
That sounds perfect.
I just got to takes the coin from you, brings the sword back, sets it over next to the fort. You're gonna have to come back in an hour or so then, because it's gonna take me a little bit of time, but I'm still smelling money.
I don't even know what to ask for. It's like a kid in a candy store. What do you think, Art?
I'm not sure.
Are you more of a staff person or a wand person?
Is it bad if I say neither?
Oh, you're more of a... frantically nudge Jazz hands.
Okay, sure. Magic hands person, I see. I'm more of a magic orb person.
Ooh, orbs. Don't even think of that. Nice.
As you say, he just sort of stumps and puts his head down a little and starts thinking a little bit, and then I don't really have much that I don't have much in terms of like gemstones or crystals or orbs or things of that nature here. Closest thing I have to something like that would probably be. Let me think. Roll a d20 for me.
Who? Oh, goodness me. Who's rolling one?
Oh, Art.
You are, I think.
Yeah, Art.
Me? Oh.
Yeah, you were the, that's what I'm looking for. You were the magic orb person, so.
19.
Alrighty then. So, as he's, sort of really, as he really just sort of focusing and trying to think. He's trying to come up with what he's got here that he might be able to basically convince you to buy. And no, I do have this. It's not quite what you've been well talking about, but maybe it might be something that interests you. Bought off a very nice vote, probably about 6 months back now. And he pulls out a small ring. As you're looking at this, looks to be out of like a nickel or a silver or a platinum material. Hexagonal in shape. Octagonal in shape. On the top of it has 2 ram's heads bumping out each side. Oh, this is it rams things. It gets the ram head on it.
Yeah.
You can use it to
I think so.
It's magic. You can use its ability and it'll make a giant ghost head that go pop.
What does that mean?
You can punch things with the ring?
You watch as he slips it on his finger. You there, a big fella with the sword. You up for the demonstration?
Why not?
As he looks at it, he goes, as you say that, he sort of comes over to stand for you. Do me a favor. Stand over here away from the merchandise.
All right.
And then he looks over and Artie sort of sidles back over your direction, leans down. I never had nobody say all right before. And you watch as he takes his hand out and puts one hand on top of the other like this and points this ring at you. Does a 19 hit?
Oh, yeah.
And Art, as you watch, this massive spectral ram's head projects out of the ring and slams into Snowmoon. Snowmoon, you are knocked 5 feet back. And you take 15 points of force damage.
Okay.
Everybody's coughing. Sounds
It's
like it's
spreading.
good.
It's spreading.
Yeah.
And as this happens, I'm so glad he said I could do that. I've never get to do that before.
Oh, that was quite a hit.
And takes the ring off and sets it on the counter. But this is this one's a little it's a little more than his sword was though. This one is 4,500 gold.
That's,
Okay there.
Yeah. That's one more zero than I ever had. That's as much as I would like it. I cannot afford it.
Are you sure you? I mean, I'm sure you have a part of that.
But what?
I have a tenth of it. I did not take.
You've spent it all already.
Yes. Copying spells into one spell book costs quite a bit.
Oh, I forgot. Do you think it's going to be useful? Like, are you going to use it and it will help?
It would be fun, but I think I am better suited to fire. If that's good or not, I don't know.
I look around. Does anybody else think this would be good for them?
No,
Did-
I'm not.
It did pack quite a punch. It's kind of like his hand is like on his ribs, like.
It's okay. I have
Murdoch?
fire.
Yeah, yes. I'm
That's
sorry.
great. Are you interested?
I mean, it leads towards a sort of approach that I am not particularly fond of using. When I do need a little bit of oomph, I actually just and she pats like her suit. There's actually like there's muscle under there. She is still a big dragonborn lady with a +5 to athletics. So it's just but I much prefer to talk my way out of things. It could definitely be useful in case, I don't know, if a situation arrived where one needed to get into a very well fortified place that was full of confiscated goods and treasure, but that's not me legally saying that that is something that should be done. And then she kind of just goes back to, like, I don't know, looking at, she doesn't go to a smith that much. I don't know, looking at a sword. But so that's her opinion.
So it's not really my fighting style either, but I think it could come in handy. Can it only be used against people, or, I mean, can I use it to push an object off of a high shelf if I can't reach it and those two aren't around?
I mean, you could do that, but it's gonna literally not break the item.
Oh, you're right. I won't use it against vases, I suppose.
And you can it's got it has 3 of them. You can do that 3 times a day.
Mm.
You know, it might come in handy. Can anybody use it? Just put it on and use it?
Unfortunately not. In case of needing to demonstrate, I do keep a couple of my favorite trinkets synced up with me. This does require you to spend a little time getting to know it.
Well, before I make a decision, do you have anything else ring-shaped or trinkets that your average adventuring party would be interested in?
The minute you say average comes out of your mouth, the smile vanishes. My dear, nothing I do is average.
Ooh.
Well, I'll tell you a story about where I got those notches on my sword from if you show me what else you have.
Okay, you want to play hardball then, so let's play hardball.
Hardball with Furia.
And he goes walking back, disappears into the back area. And after a couple of moments, you can hear him say something. It's difficult to make out exactly what he's saying. But then you hear an almost audible click. And then he comes walking back in. And he seems to be carrying a rather beautiful looking sword. Looks to be a long sword based on just your quick glance at it. And as you're glancing on it, you can see it has a very, almost a slight, I guess I'll say an unevenness to the temper pattern on it. So the sword that Snowmoon just purchased, when you looked at it, it's like literally the tempering on it is perfect. It seems like everything went exactly as to part on this. With this sword, as you're looking at it, it's almost like the edging on it has a very sort of slight wobble or wave to the way it was tempered. The edges are straight, but it's just something about it when you're looking at it gives a slight, almost like a slight unease when looking at the sword. As he's holding out, this here is probably the one of the finest weapons I have made.
It's absolutely stunning.
It's beautiful.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh, and we just welcome 20 sides. As he hold up, it's this is here. You can.
Yep.
You can when you again, much like I told the other gentleman, when you hit with this, it seems to be a little, almost like it can guide your hand, and he's moving his hand, and you get that same sort of very fluid ease. It becomes very easy to attack, and that when you hit, you seem to make a little better contact.
I don't
hold
like
out
use
my
one.
eye hand. Can I try?
You can certainly try it. Again, it does as he sort of hands it over to you, and so you can sort of feel the balance on it. With this sort of a enchantment, it does require you to, I guess I'll phrase it, spend a little time with the weapon. But
I take measure of the balance and I swing it a couple times. And, it's not my first time holding a long sword.
As you're sort of getting that feel for it, it seems like a very well-balanced sword.
You can use martial weapons, never mind. Sorry.
I think we just lost. Oh, we dropped an
Oh,
Yeah, she had to go.
she had to go.
Yeah, she said she had to go.
Oh,
so-
I apologize. I completely missed that in chat. Well, I apologize. We just dropped an art, so our cameras are going to be a little wonky for a couple of moments. But just about wrapping anyway. Getting to the end is in a few months. But so he's watching you sort of get a wheel for it. Yeah, it definitely feels like a very nice weapon.
I think
do you
I could
guys
use
think?
that too. I'm not sure if it's worth it. You're a bear most of the time.
Well,
I usually don't have my
try
hands
not to
dirty.
spread that information around.
Right.
I'm sure somebody liked it, and I, gesture to the smith. He's probably seen all types come through.
He gives a little bit of a nod.
But I don't always have the resources to be something else.
True.
Well, if you're interested in this is 1,750 gold.
Well, would you offset the cost with some other items?
It depends on what you're offering.
Well, if you repair my short sword, I can. And I pull out my rapier, which is also silvered and in slightly better condition. I can offer you this.
Sort of takes it and looks at it. Oh, silver as well. I can probably use both of those. So if we say those two, sort of hems and haws back and forth a little bit. Say 1,500 plus the two swords.
Well, I need one of them. I suppose I could give you both.
He gets over grin on his face. Oh, trust me, once you have this, you're not going to want another one.
I start digging through the bag of holding, and I dig out two just regular daggers. And I also have a unidentified dragon horde piece that turned up with the portable hole, but we didn't actually determine what it was.
Did you write down what the item itself was?
I have a list of the items we recovered from the hole somewhere, but that particular one that showed up with it didn't ever get named.
Okay, I will have to go through my notes on that and try to find that. So I do not remember what that is off the top of my head.
This may be an interesting question for you. Because you said that unfortunately some of your goods had been confiscated due to taxation purposes.
Yes.
This is strictly hypothetical. I want that to be known. But hypothetically speaking, if some of your confiscated goods were somehow able to find themselves returned to you, would that possibly connote any sort of discount on future purchases for my companions here. Hypothetically speaking, of course. That would be a lot of potential profit returned to you, I think, considering the quality of your goods.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Yeah, I love making things.
Actually, I'm going to jump us over. The names are going to be a little off, so forgive me, but I'm going to bring us to an old overlay so we can get a slightly better cam placement.
Actually, just because I want to flex, I've got that natural 20 that I got last time. Let's use that here and make it a 30.
He looks over at Murdoch.
Big toothy dragonborn grin.
And you can see, you can literally almost see the wheels turning and the just money flashing in the eye. I suppose it looks over at Furio. That would mean you wouldn't be able to purchase said item yet, if assuming you wanted to utilize these, hypothetical discounted price. But if you could bring back the 4 items they took from me, I would separate with that sword for 500 gold.
Ooh.
Now that seems incredibly reasonable, hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Word of the day.
That's one of them two gold words right there.
Indeed. How does that sound, Furia? 500 gold seem much more reasonable to you.
I can do that. And by the time we come back, we might be in need of some other items. You never know.
True.
I might be in more of a shopping mood.
And you watch as he just sort of gives you sort of a once up and down. When you come back, assuming you're not coming back in a pine box, perhaps we'll have something in store for you.
That would be so generous of you, sir.
I'll put the daggers and the other stuff back in, and I'll be back in a bit to pick up my sword.
Hypothetically. So he gives a nod and takes it in as he takes it and brings it out back. Then sets it down as... Lydia, is there anything you'd be doing as...
No, just looking at everything still. I'm still in awe of everything there. I've got to think of what I want. If I can get something cool.
As he gives a little bit of a nod, and as the group of you start heading out to contemplate hypothetical conversations, you start to see a very round human.
Ooh.
And pretty much as jogging as the one can. As this individual looks like they've spent most of their time avoiding the more physical aspects of their life, is now sort of bounding along this path heading down towards the market in a almost garishly out of place, bright royal purple, like overrobe. So picture almost like a bathrobe you would get from like a 5-star hotel. This bright royal purple over. Chest is open. You can see very ornate tooled leather armor underneath it. As they start getting closer to you, you can see it is fairly obvious this individual does not normally wear armor. And the armor they're wearing has probably been on maybe once. I mean, there's not even a nick in this. It's almost cosplay at this point. As they come running up and just as they get next about 50 feet, and then you see sees the group of you, and again is looking up more, sees more specifically Lydia, and you watch as the face breaks open into a grin, and then immediately hunched over. And starts to come running up to you. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Sorry.
We need to talk,
Okay.
but not here.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I step away from Lydia.
As Lydia says yes, he reaches out and grabs her shoulder,
Oh no.
and the two of them vanish.
Ah!
And that's where we're going to call an end to tonight's session.
Oh no.
Oh, Lydia.
I'm sorry.
As Lydia just told a random
Who that
individual
I
Stranger danger.
that
was trying to help everyone out.
So now we
So
know
we-
that the three probably ran the hit on the other 6, so it's like, they're all bad.
Mm-hmm. They're
So-
all bad.
Now, I will say where we did have Art bounce out, depending on if Art, because I do not know at this point whether or not Art would have Counterspell prepared or not. So we will be checking with Art next week. Art will have a chance to react should Art have something that can actually do anything in this situation to prevent this person from teleporting out of here with Lydia. But, so we will see what happens next time. Thank you everyone who has been with us all evening. Thank you very much, 20 Sides, for swinging by with your raid. I saw Lip in there. I saw Winston. Sparky Mac's been hanging out with us. We had an old friend that we have been missing for a while, Sensible Boots. So thank you everyone for stopping by. We'll be back next week to find out, where'd Lydia go? Who is this rather, rotund individual that has just stolen away the party's cleric, who told a random stranger on the street, yes, of course I trust you. Because, remember, folks, when a strange individual comes running up to you and says, hey, get in the van, I've got some candy.
Oh
Don't
my
say
God.
yes. And when you're running away, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. See you next time, folks.
Good night.